Okay, listen, pay attention. When it comes to the question, how did Chukwuema Kaduna Nzeogwu died? The one who orchestrated the January 15th, 1966 military coup d'etat. A lot of people have so many things to say. Some will say he committed suicide. Some will say he was killed one way or the other. But listen, whichever one you fall under, you are not totally wrong. But I want you to know that there is a difference between rumor, scruttlebot, speculation, assumption, and presumption. And there is a difference between all these things and facts. The difference is that whatever thing that cannot be dated, that cannot be cited upon, that event cannot be associated with, that an eyewitness cannot come out and say, it's known as speculation, assumption, and presumption. But facts must be dated. There must be a date associated with facts. It must be cited upon. Event must be associated with it. You can hold it and it can be consulted upon. That is what is called facts. Now listen, according to what can be held and what can be consulted upon, this was how Chukwuema Kaduna Nzeogwu died. You see, on the 29th of July 1967, Nzeogwu was on a reconnaissance mission in Nsukka sector. He was traveling in an improvised armored vehicle known as the Red Devil, known as the Biafran Red Devil. This armored vehicle was converted by the indigenous Biafran engineers. They converted it from a Ford truck. You see, this armored vehicle was cumbersome despite its impressive ingenuity. When they got to Nsukka, they were surrounded by the federal troops of the 21st Battalion, which was led by Abubakar Gora. They opened fire on the vehicle. But because the vehicle was so strong, as the name implied, the Biafran Red Devil, the bullets were not penetrating. But not until they brought the fearsome 106mm Recocile rifle, which pierced through the body of the armored vehicle. According to an eyewitness who was identified as Olu Mandab, who was the former military driver to the General Damkad Badi, he said that the bodies of the people were dragged out, but before then the people were killed in the armored vehicle. He said it was not known that Nzeogwu was in the vehicle until their bodies were being dragged out. He claimed that Nzeogwu and 2 to 3 other persons were in the vehicle. That when their body were dragged out, that was what it was known that Nzeogwu was in the vehicle. Nzeogwu's body was identified by Abdullahi Shenlang, who ordered that his body first be kept in the University of Nsukka campus, which was then known as the University of Biafra. Nzeogwu's body was later sent to the 1st Division headquarters at Makurdi. The commander of the 1st Division headquarters, who was Colonel Mohammed Shoa, telephoned Yakubu Gowon that Nzeogwu was dead. Yakubu Gowon immediately ordered that his body be flown to Kaduna and he should be buried with full military honor because they knew whom Nzeogwu was. He was a strong and patriotic officer indeed. He was. You see, according to Damkad Bali, he said, Nzeogwu was indeed a nice, patriotic, and charismatic officer who was respected and admired by his fellow colleagues. At least he was not in the habit of being found with women in their company all the time, which was like a pastime for the young military officers at that time. Listen to this, what he said. Listen to this. He said, we believed that he was a man whom organized the January 15th, 1966 military coup d'etat out of true intention, who was let down by his collaborators. Yes, we believed that if Nzeogwu was captured alive, he wouldn't have been killed. He would have probably been tried and jailed and later released. His death was highly regrettable. That he was what Damkad Bali said when Nzeogwu died. They knew who he was. They knew that the coup d'etat was not born out of selfishness. It was not born out of the fact that a section of the country wanted to dominate others. No. It was born out of the fact that Nzeogwu perceived the First Republic to be corrupt. Africa, ladies and gentlemen, political and historical aficionado, after all I've said to you, it is safe to say that indeed Nzeogwu was a great man. For Wisdom Africa, wisdom is the principal thing. One day we believe that Nzeogwu will be recognized for whom he actually was. Okay. That being said, remember you can always request for a book. How do you get a book? Go to my bio right here on TikTok. You will see a link there. You will see a phone number there first. The phone number there, message it, tell it that you need a book. Okay? And book will be made available to you in less than 24 hours. Political book, historical book, any book that will help your consciousness. Request for it to be made available to you in 24 hours. The book is made available to you by I and Germanify Online Library. The essence to get young people into reading, because we believe that when you read, you will know. And wisdom makes a man unfit to be a slave. Now listen, the link in my bio is my YouTube channel. I have other content I've made in my YouTube. Please go there and subscribe. Support me. Alright? Remember, I love you and I cherish you. Let love lead your heart, because love makes the world go round. Wisdom Africa. Wisdom is a principal thing.